They are very eager to learn English at that very late night. Because for them, they just want to seize whatever they can, learn whatever they can, plan whatever they can plan for that day, because they really want to seize to, like, they want to be productive for that day. Well, translate that into us as Christians. Well, we have Pastor Ribbon, but it's not just about the pastor. Yeah, we will not burden the pastor with all this ministry. How about us, members of the church, who are teaching, who are working in the hospitals, who are having our sideline jobs in the tutorial centers? Or in general, how about us Filipinos working and living in a foreign country here in Thailand? What is the meaning of carpe diem in our lives? That's something. Okay, kumbaga ba, if we are in the school, we have to give these essential questions before we go into discussion. So this is something that we have to consider and to think and reflect upon while we are going to study God's words tonight. Ephesians 5 verse 15 to 16 from ESV, it says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time because the days are evil. Making the best use of your time. Do we make the best use of our time here in Thailand? And there's a warning. Why do we have to make use of our time wisely? Because the days are evil. It's very funny during today, because we don't have any classes until next week, so we like chica moment in our office. And then there are 6 foreign teachers in our department. Okay, there's a Canadian who is 36 years old. There's Russian, who's 22 years old. There's a Filipina who is 22. And then most of us are like 30s. And then when they asked me, Marvin, how old are you? I was like, 34. Oh, sorry. That should be a top secret for me. But my point is, they were like, you're very small. How could you be 34? I was like, yeah, I'm 34. I may be small in stature, but I'm old enough. And then it was like a joke for us, but I came to realize, what have I been doing in my life for the past 34 years? Have I done my best in the service of God? Or hopefully not quite the opposite? And that question you should answer tonight. If you're 22 years old, 24, 26, reflect upon your life, all those times. How have we been doing in the service of God? Not in accumulating money, not in accumulating earthly possessions. I'm focusing primarily into our lives as Christians, the reason why we're here. Tonight, I'll be talking about just very simple, just 4 principles of time management, which can be found in the Bible. Number 1, brethren. Number 1 is awareness of your purpose. Wherever you are, whatever you do, you should be aware of your purpose. Is your purpose just accumulating wealth? Is your purpose just to acquire earthly possessions, to get licenses, to get a very good relationship? Is that it? Well, for me, it's not. And as Christians, that should not be the case. We need to have an awareness of the time that we are given, and we need to know the purpose of why we are here. Okay, let's divide this statement into 2. We need to have an awareness of the time that we are given. If we're going to base it in the Bible, like, we only have 70 years of existence, and then the rest that would follow is just our gift from God. So that's just very little time. And with that, what's our purpose? You could have just worked in the Philippines. You could have just another pathway of your lives, but you were brought here in Thailand to teach. Are we here to just teach? Are we here? Okay, pardon me, this may sound a bit harsh, but let me ask every one of us, are there any of us here who are in Thailand to escape the harsh working environment we had, or if you had way back in the Philippines? Because, yeah, I escaped from the stressful life of working in the Philippines, honestly. And that's why I came back here in Thailand. But that's not just our purpose. Our purpose here is to be part of the ministry, right? God brought us here to be the light, to serve as the light for others. I do not know kung ilang percent ng Christianity here in Thailand, because most of the people here are Buddhist and non-believers, or they don't believe in God. Well, we believe in God. We are Seventh Adventists, and we bring the light. Do we keep this light to ourselves? Or like, are we just satisfied? Like, my grandma, my grandpa, they're both Seventh Adventists. My mom and my dad are both Seventh Adventists. So I'm a Seventh Adventist. I'm sure that I'm going to be saved. Are you really sure? And are you selfish enough to just keep that light and not share it to others, especially to the people here in Thailand? It's a very big challenge to all of us. Now, okay, here's a story of a boy. Okay, in Luke 2, verse 41. You can read, I'm going to read it for you, and you can read it silently with me as well. Okay, I really love storytelling. So let me tell you a very common story tonight. And let's see if we can appreciate our purpose through this story. Let me start. Every year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went up to the festival according to the custom. After the festival was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. But they were unaware of it. His parents did not have any clue that Jesus stayed in Jerusalem. And guess what? That was a very busy time. Now, 44, thinking he was just in their company, they traveled on for one day. If there are parents of you here tonight, imagine being away with your son or daughter for a day. I'm sure that would make you really, really panic. Then they began looking for him among the relatives and friends. I really could sense their panic that time. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. And it took them 3 days before they found him. Where? In the temple courts. He was sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. How amazing that is for a 12-year-old boy. Have you ever seen a boy at the age of 12 talking with the pastors regarding the biblical implication? Like the mess find in the Bible na about Tagalog, Tagalog. I'm really, yeah, ang speaker niya tonight. Speak a little Bisaya tonight. Let's continue the story. Everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. It's not just about how God or Jesus understands the Bible. The people were amazed because he was able to answer their questions. Then when his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." And okay, Jesus answered, "Why were you searching for me?" He asked. "Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?" That was witty, but they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all of these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Okay. Why did God do that? Was it because he was disobedient? No, absolutely no. It is because at his early age of 12, he already knew what his purpose was. So, brethren, Jesus was 12 years old. I am, okay, 34 years old. Yes, I'm old enough. 34 years old. How about you guys listening to my sermon tonight? How old are you? Have we fully realized what our purpose is in our lives, in our existence, our presence here in Bangkok or in Thailand? Brethren, we are only given a very minute amount of time, and that we have to make sure that with this short amount of time, we know what our purpose is. And not just knowing our purpose, serving our purpose. Second, time is valuable. Okay, when we say valuable, well, a cell phone, iPhone Pro Max, oh, that's valuable. Our relationship, huh? Sa mga may jowa, God bless all of you. Cherish it. That's something valuable. Your degree, your job, what else? Your family. Your money is valuable, I would say. I hope everybody agrees with me when I say money is valuable. How could we help other people? How could we help ourselves if we don't have any money? But to tell you honestly, all of these things, when they're gone, when you say cell phone, it's gone, you can buy another one. You say laptop, if it cracks, you can buy another one. But when time is lost, it's lost forever. That reminds us that it is truly one of the most valuable things in our lives. You cannot bring back your past. Somebody asked me, Marvin, why are you like very cool with your students? I was like, maybe because I miss my brother. He was 18 years old when he passed away. That's why I really have fun time playing basketball, volleyball, badminton, just having a good time with my students, because I think I could relate to them as they are my brothers or sisters. Imagine at the age of 18, my brother, I believe he could be a very successful person. He's intelligent, he's a very good speaker, but due to cancer, he passed away at the age of 18. And that's it. Time is limited. So I wish I should have spent more time bonding, not quarreling with my brother. And I don't want you people, brethren, to feel the same feeling that I have right now. Because if you're going to rate my sadness, my depression, my frustration, it would be totally, absolutely depressing. 100%. Why? I did not have that very close bonding with my brother. There's so many situations in our lives where at a certain time we could say, sayang, I should have done this, I should have done that. But we lost the time. My point is, whatever you want to do today in the service of the King, do it. So time will come, you will not regret. Okay? James 4 verses 13 to 15. Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow, we'll go to this or that city. It's like us traveling Bangkok to Saraburi, to north, to west, spend a year there, carry on business, make money, teach, have tutorial jobs, earn, enjoy. Why do you not even know what will happen tomorrow? What is your life? I'm asking every one of us tonight, what is your life? You are a mist that appears for just a very little while, and then after some few time, your life vanishes. I told this illustration to the brethren in Singbury. My uncle, who was sleeping beside my other uncle, natulog lang. When they woke up, okay, my uncle woke him up. He didn't wake up. Hey, let's start working. He didn't respond. He found out he was cold. He was dead. My grandma was just cleaning the house. My father saw him. He just slowly collapsed. She died. My other uncle was driving the motorcycle. Nakabakride ang aking tita. And then according to my tita, parang gumanon lang yung uncle ko. And then suddenly, yeah, they were both unconscious. And then after 14 days, my aunt wake up from comatose, and then my uncle already was buried. Sad. Well, brethren, life is so unpredictable. And death is inevitable. That's our number one enemy. Because we do not know when we rest. Probably, I'm certain my uncle did not have any clue that he's gonna die. Another example, I was teaching with my Korean student. He was a very jolly kid. Our class was around 5 o'clock in the morning. And then every time I get online, I was like, hello, Brian, good morning. Welcome back to our class. How was your sleep last night? Did you have any breakfast? I was very jolly, of course, because he's also jolly. That and then he would like, hello, teacher Marvin. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. At that time, I was like, hello, Brian. I was like, hello, teacher. Oh, what happened? You look sad. Yes, I am. It's like, oh, do you mind telling me why? And then I was like, my father died. It's like, he died last night. His father, by the way, is one of the big bosses in one of the biggest companies in South Korea. As I said, life is unpredictable. Death is inevitable. What matters is how prepared we are. And while we live, we have served our purpose, because time is really valuable that we cannot waste any of it. Number 3, time is a stewardship of God. When we say stewardship, meaning we are given the task to manage something. How do we manage our time? Do we immerse ourselves into teaching after teaching, online teaching, or going to the tutorial centers? And I'm talking about my experience. Yes, because sometimes I'm really clouded with just earning money, because I know I can help a lot of people. I could help the church if we have money. But brethren, it's not, life is not just about earning money. It's realizing our purpose. Sometimes I miss midweek prayer meetings, not Vespers, of course. But my point is, sometimes I get too tired of reading the Bible. And that's a very big challenge. How do we manage our time? How are we being steward of our time? Money, we can be stewards of that. Relationships, travel. Okay, holidays are just around the corner, and some of you are planning to go to other provinces. But how about at church? Look at this boy. He might be very busy at school, and then when he was at church, he was sleepy. Okay, so we are having an online class. Oh, sorry, online service this time, and I don't know if some of you are feeling sleepy right now. But to tell you honestly, people, brethren, children of God, this is a precious time we have to spend with God. It's not just about Brother Marvin talking this time. It's about God being in the midst of us as we worship Him this evening. Last one. We're almost done. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now, try to look at this image. What does this picture say? There's a clock. Every second means time being spent wisely or time being wasted. That's how simple it is. Now let's try to imagine our 24 hours a day. How do we spend it? Do we spend it wisely? Or, yeah, very challenging nowadays, social media, TikTok, twerking there, twerking here, responding to the negative comments in social media. I know that's not how we use our time. As Christians, as Seventh-day Adventists, we have to be very careful of our time. Every second counts. Let us, as much as possible, let us maximize our time. Not to spend it to the worldly pleasures, but in serving our Heavenly Father. Last one. God's timing is always perfect. Okay? I cannot see you all tonight, but I just want you to smile for me. Smile, because whatever you are dealing right now, whatever plans that failed, whatever challenges you have right now, brethren, don't get mad at yourself. Yeah, look at me. I'm smiling. I want to radiate this smile that I have tonight. Does not mean that I don't have any problems. If you just knew, I could just stay in the corner and cry the entire night. Certainly, yeah. I have lots of frustrations. things gone out of control. But the last one for tonight is God's timing is always perfect. How can we question God? God's perfect timing does two things. Number one, it grows our faith as we are forced to wait and trust in God, and it makes certain that He and He alone gets the glory and praise for pulling us through. If you think you failed into something, if you think that you should have done something, and then you feel depressed, well, we all have equal share of these challenges, right? Even Pastor Ribbon has also his own share of challenges in life. We all have. Sometimes we are forced to wait into something, and they say patience is a virtue. My co-teacher said, Marvonn, it's not a virtue anymore. It's a talent, because not everybody really can wait patiently. I was like, yeah, okay. Psalm 31 verse 15 says, my times are in your hands. That should seal everything tonight. If you are tempted to complain about your life because you haven't achieved something that you really have wanted for so many years already, remember, it's not about our time. Our time are in God's hands. God's ways are not our ways. For my thoughts are never and ever your thoughts. Let's just try to imagine. I think my IQ is just very average, really average. So that means I need not to complain. Why? Because if I get to encounter problems and then I try to rationalize it in my own level, then I would say this should be done right now. But I try to imagine, hey, Marvonn, you know what your IQ is. Look up to God. He's up there. That means He is the most intelligent being ever. So why would you try to compare yourself to Him? You just try to understand that your plan is not His plan. Your ways are not your ways. You think you're brilliant? Yes, you are in your human perspective. Yes. But compared to God, it's way, way lower than Him. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. That is based in the Bible. Let me give you a very short story. Okay? Storytelling naman tayo tonight. When did COVID-19 pandemic? Of course, 2019, right? That was November. And I was serving the school as the school principal for 5 years, more than 5 years, I think. And then I decided to quit. So I tendered my resignation January 2020, early January, and my resignation was effective March 2020. So that means I still have 2 months to prepare to transition everything before I would fly back to Thailand. Because at that time, I already bought my round trip, my ticket. I had my employer waiting for me, and I was ready. I said my goodbyes to my former colleagues, my teachers, and my students. And the saddest part is that I actually gave away all my stuffs. My Nike shoes, Adidas, my badminton racket, my jerseys. I was prepared. Oh my. So fast forward, my birthday, at least you know, so you could give me gifts soon, very soon. March 21 or 21st, that's my birthday. A day before March 21st, March 20th, there was this saddest news that I witnessed in the television. My father was like, whoa, wow, wait, Marvonn, check this out. March 2020, there was international lockdown of borders because of COVID-19. That means I could not fly. Yes, I quit my job. I bought my ticket. I had my employer. I sacrificed so many things already. But then there was Marvonn sitting at the corner, hopeless. I could not fly. I could not just walk. I could not just run. I could not swim going to Thailand. I worked here last 2012 to 2015, and I really loved Thailand. by all honesty. That's why I really decided to come back here. But I could not. So here goes the challenges. My aunts, my friends, some of them was like, that's what you get because you were too, you took the risk. You did not calculate the risk. Some would say, Marvonn, sayang yung trabaho mong iniwan, ang ganda na sana. You did not really think about it. I told them, I prayed about this. Yeah, pastor, I really prayed about this. Like, I'm done stressing myself out. 5 years of managing junior and senior high school departments, and I'm done. I prayed for it. I want to go back to Thailand. Yeah, I was up. But in our human perspective, peripheral vision, we would see this as failure, right? Of course. But modesty aside, brethren, even my aunt, one of my aunts went to my home and he was like, sayangan ni mong bataa ka. Uy, why did you quit? Why did you not think about it? I had all the blames that they could ever have. But I was like, okay, I've had the worst experiences in my life. I've had the worst challenges that I already encountered in my life. And this time, hindi na ako matitinag. It's just something, a challenge. Well, by the way, I know I can surmount. I was totally positive about that. After 2 years, I was able to fly back to Thailand. Let's not just count about the challenges, the failure. If you were to ask me, what did you gain by staying at home for 2 years, Marvonn? Getting stuck? Number one, I ventured into online teaching. I knew now how to teach kids, which I did not know before. Second, I was very big back then because, working as a school head has a lot of stresses. I weighed 6 to 8 kilograms. My blood pressure was 180 over 110. I had 4 maintenance for my heart and my blood pressure. But during those 2 years of staying at home, I met a friend who introduced me with my diet plan. And now look at me, I'm trimmed off. Well, medyo sexy na si Brother Marvonn this time. And my blood pressure is way too normal. During the COVID pandemic, my sister, who was pregnant at that time, delivered her baby while she had a COVID. Imagine having nobody in the family who knows how to transact in the different hospitals and different NGOs just to make certain that my sister could deliver her baby. I was like, well, I want to go back to those people who treated me like it was a total failure already. I want to tell them that there is a purpose for everything. I could not enumerate, we would consume the entire night if I'm going to enumerate all the good things that happened to me for 2 years that I was stuck in the Philippines. My heart longed for Thailand, but God asked me to wait in the Philippines. And the best thing that could ever, the best plot twist that I have is when I came to Thailand, God prepared me the best school ever, the best colleagues ever. Both the Thai teachers in my department and the 5 of the other foreign teachers in my department are like my family, my brothers and sisters, and I could not ask God for more. Brethren, this is something that we have to consider. When things go differently, not as we plan, remember, your ways are not his ways. Your plans are not his plans. Your thoughts, never his thought. I gave this example. I gave this to the Singburi church members back last Sabbath. So those who are new, those who are not in Singburi church, just try to look at this one. This is just a very quick recap of how I struggled with my nursing degree back then. Yes, I was just allowed to march during the graduation, but they would not release my TOR because I have, actually that's 380,000 pesos ang utang ko sa school because of the challenges I had when I was in college. Medyo mahaba-habang experience yun. But we already sold lahat ng lupa, kahit yung lupa andito sa kuko, naibenta na po. but we could not pay 100,858. So as I worked for 3 years to pay this debt. And way back in 2009, this is big, very, very big. So what happened, Marvin? Well, I was really depressed seeing my classmates took the board exam. Well, I could say, Lord, mas bright bigay ko ato nila. Well, man ko ka-take. Well, it took me 3 years. Work here, work there, sideline here, sideline there, just to pay this amount. After 3 years, I paid it with the help of my family. What happened, Marvin? After 3 years, I got my TOR for nursing. But not only the TOR for nursing. While waiting, that is like seizing whatever I can for that 3 years. I don't want that those 3 years will just pass by me just struggling to pay my debt. While working, I also studied for my education degree. So I graduated nursing 2009, and then 3 years later, this is not something to boast, but this is something to encourage that while waiting, do something. While you are in Bangkok, think of something that you could do. Let's maximize the little amount of time that we are given. So in 2012, 3 years later, I had my TOR for nursing at the same time, the TOR for education. September 2012, I took the board exam for education. November 2012, I took the board exam for nursing. And that is not with going to the review center, because I still had a contract to work for 14 hours in a Korean school. When God says, wait, just wait without complaining. And during that time, when I was about to take the exam, I really reviewed, self-review. Basa ng libro. I have to read the entire books and record it and listen to it, because sometimes I could not read them again and again because I was so exhausted with my 14 hours of work every day. So I just listened to it as audio, and I have to include in the recording. Marvonn, don't give up. Marvonn, you can do it. Marvonn, you waited for it for 3 years. Don't you ever say, I'm tired. You're tired. You can absolutely do it. And so I did. Weeks after the board exam, the results were out. I was informed by my co-teachers that, Marvonn, you did it. You passed. I could not believe it. Brethren, you might be having some failures in your lives. You might be failing in some of your plans. Say board exam. Please don't be depressed. My sister did it many times already. She failed. Now she's recovering. I've waited for something. I got it after so many years of waiting. My point is, you wait because God wants you to wait. But while waiting, do not be idle. Do not just say, God asked me to wait, then I'll sit down and wait. No, please do something. God doesn't see time the same way as we do, and He is not bound by time, but we are bound by it. And that should remind that you should not be lazy enough. We should not be lazy enough in whatever plans we have in our lives. We should not be lazy enough in participating in the activities in the church. Psalm 31 verse 15, it says, my times are in your hands. When you are experiencing a lot of difficulties in life, just remember, our times are in God's hands, never ours. We are just stewards of this time. We do not own any second of it. Sad part. This should not be us, Christians. Just talking about the lives of others? Nonsense. Brethren, this should be us. These are my students, way back, former students in the Philippines. This is a global youth, but they do not just do it every year for global youth program. They do it on a regular basis. They have a lot of volunteering services. They go to prisons. They go to their squatters. They go to the city. They clean the streets, whatever they can, just to tell the world that they are shedding this light to them. Brethren, remember, you have to be Okay? Aware of your purpose. You have to remember that time is limited. That's why it is valuable. Remember, time is stewardship. You and I are stewards of this time. And remember, when things go wrong in our human perspective, God is doing something. God is concocting something good for your life. Before I end this sermon tonight, since I mentioned about death, let me end with an illustration of death. When you go to the cemetery, what do you see? A tombstone, right? Lapida. What do you see in the lapida? We see Peter Brown, 1962 to 2022. Two separate dates. Duha lang ka dates. Those are not important. For me, the most important thing is the dash in between those dates. What has Mr. Brown done on that small amount from 1962 to 2022? Brethren, time is valuable. Brethren, life is unpredictable. The most important thing is to know that this time is such a very good, great blessing to all of us. Whatever we do, wherever we go, let's make use of our time wisely, not only for ourselves, not only for our family, but in the service of God. Thank you for listening, and happy Sabbath to each one of you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother